G'day there ladies and gents, it's Connor here again, hope you're all having a fantastic day. Anyway, we're back with some more stories from Reddit, so make sure you hit like and subscribe and all that stuff, and let's get straight into it. Alrighty guys, we're on relationships. This one was written by user KJSOther, and it's titled, I woke up in the middle of the night to find my best friend sleeping with my boyfriend in the living room. Throwaway account for obvious reasons, and sorry for any formatting, I'm on a mobile. I don't even know where to begin. My head is such a mess right now. So my boyfriend John and I have been dating for 3 years, and at the beginning it was the most romantic love story. I met him when I was 18 and started dating him when I was 19, and the more I dated him, the more I saw a future with him. He would always put time and effort into me, take care of me, and go an extra mile to put a smile on my face. But things have changed since then, to say the least. After about 1.5 years of dating, it started with little things, like him not wanting to kiss me as much, or finding excuses to not hang out. We went from seeing each other every day to only hanging out maybe once or twice a week for 2 hours. I know he's got his own life and I'm not trying to control him, but I wish he would make me feel a little more special and maybe make an extra effort to see me. I should probably also mention that I suffer from depression and a low self-esteem, and it's probably really hard on John when I'm in a bad state. I try not to, but sometimes I just can't help but feeling alone and in the dark. So anyways, we were celebrating my best friend's, ex-best friend now, I guess, birthday at my house last night with a bunch of friends, maybe about 20, and there was a fair bit of drinking. The reason she couldn't have the party at her house was because she shares her place with roommates, which was fine because I had no problem throwing her party at mine, as long as she helped clean the house up in the morning. The night went all right, but I did notice John and Sarah, the best friend, were getting a little too close, like him grabbing her from behind and spinning her around, but I just brushed it off because I never noticed anything before, and we're all best friends. So after around midnight, everyone has left, and John, Sarah and I are just chilling in the lounge room, laughing about our night together. And when we were ready for bed, I set up a mattress in the lounge room for Sarah, and John told me he'd be in our bed soon. So I went to bed and crashed alone, and maybe after a few hours, I woke up in the middle of the night, desperately needing to pee. Now, I don't have a bathroom connected to my room, it's down the hall. So I slowly get up and realize John isn't in our bed. So I went to walk down the hall when I start to hear like moaning noises, and I'm like, WTF? And I peek my head down the hall to see John and Sarah having sex. I know I should have confronted them right there and then, but I couldn't. I just sneaked back into bed and cried silently. I didn't even have a chance to pee. So now it's morning. John snuck back into our bed and is acting like nothing happened. I've lost a long-life best friend and a boyfriend I put 3 years into. I don't even know how to confront them. I'm not even sure if I can confirm what I'd seen because we were all drinking. It's driving me insane. But the real kicker is that John and I haven't slept together in months, but he can sleep with her. I just feel so low. How can I confront them and even begin to process this? I don't want to lose John. We have our ups and downs, but he's everything to me. If anyone has ever been in this situation and has any advice, feel free to let me know. Just don't be too brutal. I think I already know what I have to do. Yeah, absolutely, OP knows what to do here. It's going to be hard ripping the band-aid off and losing 2 good friends, but she's going to have to do it. And by good friends, I don't mean that literally. They've proven to be awful people, that's for sure. Let's go to the comments. Unbelievable. I'm so sorry this happened to you. I would first sit down with John and just be straight up about what you saw and heard. There's no way he can lie or deny it without looking like an idiot. I would deal with Sarah afterwards. Damn snake, lol. Honestly though, if it were me in this situation, I would cut them both off right after confronting them. No questions asked. What your friend and boyfriend did was beyond betrayal. There are no excuses, and I wouldn't even bother trying to hear them out. Opie replies, I'm thinking of doing this once Sarah leaves, which should hopefully be soon. I'm just hiding away in my room. I feel so pathetic. All I can say is leave. He cheated on you and broke your trust. You deserve better. Find someone who respects you. She says, one thing I'm scared about leaving is that he has private photos of me, and I'm afraid he will share them if I left him in such an abrupt way. He can be that kind of a petty person. And I think I know his password. I'm going to try and delete the photos before I confront him with the excuse that I need to check my emails or something like that. I'm just hoping they aren't backed up. but if something happens, I'll definitely go to the police. You need to call both of them out and get out of the relationship ASAP. If he's willing to cheat on you in your house with what was supposed to be your best friend, he'll never change, and it also sounds like he's been pushing you away already anyways. But like I said, if he's willing to bang someone else when you're in the next room, it's unacceptable. I would have been beating my friend's face in, so I do give you props for not stabbing any one of them. Not just one person broke your trust, but two of them together. Anyways, get out now. This means most likely he's been banging other people too, probably at least. Sorry for the double betrayal. And she says, thank you for the encouragement. I wish I had your strength. I'm going to confront him when Sarah leaves. Okay, now for an update the next day. I used the excuse that I had to text my mother when we were hanging out today. I don't have credit, and John knows that, so he didn't suspect anything. And I went through his phone, and the evidence was pretty damning. They'd been sleeping together for a while. I took screenshots of their conversations and sent it to my phone in case he tried to deny it. After all of that, I confronted him when Sarah left. It was so hard to even get the words out. And you know what? He denied it. He told me that he loves me more than anything and would never do that, and that I should know and to stop accusing him of such silly nonsense. That's when I told him I've seen all of his and Sarah's messages. At first, he still kept denying it, saying someone hacked his accounts, and he doesn't know what I'm talking about. But eventually he broke down crying, saying he loves me and doesn't want to lose me, but couldn't feel the spark anymore, and it was the biggest mistake of his life. He wants to make this work and push past this. Or maybe he should have tried instead of sleeping with my best friend. So I told him to leave, and of course he doesn't know where his car keys are and asks if it's okay to stay for a few hours when his best friend Mark gets off work so he can pick him up. It was so difficult to say no, but I did. I just wanted to be alone. I don't even know who he is anymore. He ended up finding his car keys and he's been calling and messaging me ever since. As for Sarah, I got a message from her saying this. I'm assuming John gave her the heads up. Quote, I can't even explain how sorry I am. I never wanted to hurt you and I don't know how this happened, but something grew between John and I can't deny that what we have is so intensely strong and real. I hope we can work through this and I hope you can someday come to become okay with me and John being a couple. I wish you the best of luck, and when you're ready, please message me. Lots of love. End quote. So I don't know what to believe. John is telling me he wants to work through this, while Sarah is saying they're a couple. I'm now going to be ending it with John, and my mum is going to come meet me and stay for a few days to make sure I'm okay. Thanks for all the advice, Reddit. One comment says, I never wanted to hurt you and I don't know how this happened, but something grew between John and I can't deny that what we have is so intensely strong and real. So real, oh my god, until one of them loses that spark and cheats on the other. This is how people act when they have no self-control or willpower. If you're losing the spark, you don't go F other people. You try to work on your relationship, or you end it if you're not willing. Opie says, exactly, he should have ended it with me months ago when he first felt something for the snake at least. I no longer have any respect for either of them. Update 2. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for your words of advice and support. I really appreciate it in a time like this. Some of you guys suggested that I send the messages that John sent me to Sarah. Me and my mum talked about it and how I might come off as spiteful and jealous, but I thought screw it. I don't owe you guys the time of day or respect, so I sent them to her. At first, she didn't respond and ignored it, but then replied asking to meet up and discuss this. She's now playing the victim, saying she had no idea that John still wanted to pursue me, and that we've both been played. Phew. I have no idea if Sarah messaged John or what came of those messages. I honestly want nothing to do with them anymore. My plan is to pack up all of John's crap and leave it in the front outside, then message him that he can collect while I'm at work. He's got 3 days to get it until I donate it to a charity. I also then blocked his number and every social media account so he can no longer contact me. I've also removed his name from any shared responsibilities and accounts we have together, and any mail of his that is sent to my address will be returned to sender, because I'm not putting up with any more of his crap. As for Sarah, I have no intention of keeping that snake as a best friend, but unfortunately we travel in the same friend group, so I'll just have to avoid any future gatherings that she's participating in. Luckily, I have friends that love me and will help me move through this. Thank you again for your support. Edit 3. He picked up his stuff, loaded it into his car, and then showed up to my door. I told him to pick it up during my work hours, but of course he didn't have the decency to give me frickin' that. I'm so angry. Mum said that he tried to walk through the door, and she told him to get lost and slammed the door in his face. I could hear him calling my name, and it made me cry a little harder, but I just wish I could have had the satisfaction of watching him have the door slammed in his face. What a piece of crap. Opie comments, I spoke about it with 2 of my friends, and I'm assuming everyone knows by now. I just don't have the mindset to really talk about it with them at the moment, but they understand. But as much as I hate her, I don't want the group to feel like they have to choose. And some final comments. The way the both of them each tried to wriggle out of it by lying and then playing victim when they realised she had too much evidence, calling them snakes is insulting to snakes. I hope she was able to thrive without either of their bullcrap in her life. Poor OP, story as old as time, but I applaud the move to send Sarah the screenshots from John begging her to reconcile. Smooth and petty, well done. Girl, we've both been played, says the woman who is completely fine with playing. Sarah was okay with OP being played, but is now acting like a victim when she learned he wasn't as into her as she thought. Karma. I immediately started pettily hoping that she would send the screenshots of him begging for her back to the best friend. Sometimes, who frickin' cares about looking petty or crappy? It just feels good to knock someone down a peg who did something disgusting to you and is trying to justify it. Yeah, I agree. Can't say they didn't deserve it. But I hope Opie's doing better these days. Anyway guys, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll move on to the next story. Okay, we're moving over to relationships. This one was written by user MadP1865, and it's titled, My boyfriend changed his relationship status on Facebook from in a relationship with no specified person to in a relationship with a girl that is not me. I feel really terrible right now. Michael and I have been dating since we were in 8th grade, so for just over 6 years now. Up to this point, we have had an amazing relationship. We are each other's best friend through and through. We've definitely had our ups and downs, but we've never officially broken up. We've always worked through any issues we had. He's never given me a reason to distrust him, until now. We go to different colleges. We are about 6 hours apart from each other for most of the year. Spring break of last year, freshman, I went to his college to visit him, and I met his friend, Kayla, 20, who was very close to him, yet he had never mentioned her before. I wasn't expecting him to. I'm not that jealous girlfriend that won't let her boyfriend be friends with other girls, but given her behaviour, I thought that me not knowing about her was suspicious. She was very nice to me, but she was openly flirty with Michael, even in front of me. She was touchy with him, she made suggestive comments, etc. Michael always looked extremely uncomfortable, and he never flirted back, but he never told her to stop either. Several days into my visit, I confronted him about this. I asked him if she knew I was his girlfriend. He said yes. I told him that her behaviour was crossing the line, and that he needed to set boundaries with her, starting with telling her to cut it out. He apologised and said he would. After that, Kayla stopped flirting with him in front of me. But the day I left to go back home, she said one thing to me, and I remember her exact words. Quote, "You know, there was no need to worry. Don't you trust him?" That kept swimming around and around in my head for weeks on end. She said it so cattily, and it was coming from her of all people. I tried to shake it off and not think about it, but it was really hard. She just said it in a way that sounded so, I know something you don't. I told Michael about it, and he said not to worry about it. She was always saying things like that. I kept pressing it, but he insisted that it was nothing more than just a jealous comment, so I dropped it. Time passed. Kayla added me on Facebook, and I accepted just to be friendly. This was when I started seeing a lot of posts about her and Michael that never came up on my feed before, because Michael never posted about things they did together. They went to the movies together, they went to games together, they went to concerts together, they went everywhere. In every post, Kayla added a caption that had a nickname for him in it. I could tell it was a special nickname because she used it every time. In the pictures, I saw that Michael always looked silently uncomfortable. He always had a weak smile on his face. I know his uncomfortable facial expression, and he was always wearing it in those posts. I felt somewhat paranoid, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want to come off as the jealous girlfriend who can't trust her boyfriend because he has a close female friend. I also didn't unfriend Kayla because if I did, I felt like drama would ensue. About a half hour ago, I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw that Michael changed his relationship status. Before, it was in a relationship without any specific person mentioned. Mine is the same way. Now it said, in a relationship with Kayla. I felt like my heart dropped down into my stomach. The post was made 10 minutes before I saw it. There were already several comments on the post. I clicked to look at them. The first few comments were people saying, "Congratulations" and "About time" and things like that. I don't know any of the people who made those comments. The second to last comment was Michael. "A joke, guys, a joke. Don't take Kayla seriously. Kayla, I hate you." The last comment was Kayla, "Ha ha ha, oh sweetheart, don't be in denial." 10 people liked her comment. I stared at that post for what felt like an eternity. Then I checked my phone. I had several texts, all from my friends and one from my mum, dad and sister each, all of them asking me why Michael changed his relationship status. I haven't answered any of them yet. Michael hasn't texted me. 2 things. Is he cheating on me, or is this just a joke as he said? If he is cheating on me, what do I do? Geez, even if he isn't cheating on her, this relationship has gone way too far, and she's crossed the line, and everyone can see it. Let's go to the comments. Honestly, it doesn't matter if he's cheating. His relationship with Kayla, whatever it might be, is incredibly inappropriate. She's overstepping boundaries and he's done nothing to stop her. Add on to the fact that people are congratulating him and saying "about time," and it doesn't paint a pretty picture. Moreover, his response to this is horribly underwhelming. It's just a joke? Really? If I, or anyone else for that matter, were in that situation, I would have immediately brought up that I was in a committed relationship with another girl, and that Kayla was immensely overstepping her bounds. Dump him. It sounds very much like she had her sights set on him for a while and liked the challenge of stealing him away from you. Her petty comments, all the posts and pictures where you say he seemed uncomfortable, I think it boils down to one of 2 things. 1, he is cheating on you and does a terrible job of keeping her in line with it, or 2, he isn't cheating on you but is too much of a meek pushover to make her stop. If you know him so well that you know he's uncomfortable in all those pictures, why would he allow all of this to continually happen? Is he uncomfortable because of her, or is he uncomfortable because he knows you'll see those pictures and get mad? Did his friends know he had a girlfriend back home? I'm wondering what his friends knew of you and his life back home, especially if they approve of their relationship and you say you don't know them. I would take everything she says with a grain of salt. She may have dressed like that to provoke you and let you come up with your own conclusion. However, whether he cheated or not, their relationship has definitely crossed the line, and I'm sorry you had to put up with that. If he is cheating on you, dump him. If Kayla logged into his Facebook and changed his status, unfriend her. If he's not cheating on you but he changed his status as a joke, dump him. Before you do any of this, have a phone conversation with him and ask what the hell is going on. Okay, Opie edits the original post. Michael is home for the summer, so I went over to his house, I knocked on the front door, and Kayla opened the door, wearing a bathrobe. Kayla lives 4 hours away from us, a state over. I asked her what the hell she was doing there. She smirked and said Michael wasn't home. I told her she didn't answer my question, and her reply was, "I'm visiting for the week." I didn't have anything to say to that. I felt absolutely destroyed inside. I turned around without another word and started walking back to my car. She shouted after me, "Sorry things had to end this way." Screw her. Who the hell is she to say that to me? He was cheating on me. One comment says, "I applaud you for your self-control. That girl is hideously immature, and he's downgrading severely. I would have beaten her to a pulp and enjoyed it." She says, "Believe me, I wanted to rip her face off, but I could see her putting 'my boyfriend's crazy ex tried to kill me for no reason, lol,' all over Facebook if I did something." And a final update the next day. Michael came to my house. When I opened the door, I found him crying his eyes out. I asked him what was going on, and this was all I heard until I closed the door on him. He slept with Kayla just before they left for winter break freshman year. She was indeed visiting him, and he didn't tell me because he didn't know how to. When I went to his house to talk to him, he was indeed home. And he was very, 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 very many varies sorry. I don't even know what to say to anyone in my real life about this. My parents aren't home, my sister isn't home, I haven't told any of my friends. Any advice now that it's true that he cheated on me? One comment says, I know this hurts the OP immensely, but this couldn't have been better for her in the long run. She'll look back on this in her later years and be grateful for it. Hell, he even couldn't have picked a better time if I'm being honest. School's on a break, so this won't mess with her studies, and she's with her support system. Yeah, I tend to agree with that final comment there, guys. Anyway, that's it for that story, and that's it from me today. Hope you enjoyed those ones. Thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.